right, in the last round, we've been talking a lot about gateway games this episode, and some people might be asking, what is a gateway game? Why are you guys referring to them as this? We've also used the term medium weight, which is usually like kind of a gateway game, but usually not. But in general, board gamers use this terminology about the difficulty of a game. So anytime you hear a weight of a game, we're talking about how difficult it is to learn or how fiddly it is to play. It's kind of an abstract way of explaining a game to other gamers. So but this is the problem. Some people are really like not offended by the term weight, but they're also very confused by it, or they don't want to use it. But we're going to have this conversation of like, how do you actually measure weight? Is the weight of a game actually worth like referencing? And is this beneficial to anybody other than like gamers? So
you can't.
I'm going to
present Daniel. Before you just started, we can't go into this segment without mentioning the origin story again, right?
Please.
Okay, it's a good story. It happened in the first few episodes, so people may not have heard it. So yeah, I was at Origins with our friend Dave, another friend of the show. And we were checking out games, and we went up to this booth, and there was an attractive woman there that would call.
What do you call those women?
A booth babe is what I've heard them called. But anyway, so we asked her. He said, "Well, they were showing us the game. Oh man, what was it?
Vikings.
Raiders. Yes, Raids. And so we said, "Well, what's the weight on this game?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know." And she picked it up, and she's like, "It's kind of heavy." She really did that. So that's the story. There's not much more to it than that, but
I'm going with that.
It's great. We
just
all wish
lost
we were there.
20 subscribers. Great job, Andy.
Easy come, easy go.
All right. So, the weight of games. So I'm going to specifically call out Tom Vassell on this one because he's the one I hear most talk about how he hates the like rating complexity on Board Game Geek and talking about the weights of the games. And I just want to say that I think the weight of a game is one of the most important things we can talk about when you are in the hobby. If you're outside the hobby, no, I'm going to tell you this is a good game. This is an easy game to learn. This is a complicated game to learn. But when you're in the hobby, the weight is a very definitive term. And I think we've established it kind of in general that we were like that when we say heavy, what we mean is that this game is like it takes like a couple hours to learn, or 30 minutes to learn, 45 minutes to learn. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to be playing for like 2+ hours. Like that's a heavy game. And if somebody says this is the heaviest game I've ever played, that's immediately going to tell me, do I have the time and the willpower to play this? Now, if someone says this is medium weight, what that tells me is that this is a game that anyone who's ever played board games before won't have any hard time playing this game. This is a game that, like, if you've ever played a deck building game, then you're going to be fine playing this game. And then lightweight to me tells me anybody can play this. A child can play it. A family can play it. My grandma can play it if my grandma was still alive. But anybody can play a lightweight game. And as far as we are in the, sorry, I made myself laugh.
Kelly,
I should never do that.
I'm sorry. That? You're such a.
I was trying to cover my mouth. You're just like, if she's still alive. I don't know. That just got me funny. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So these are great measurements when it comes to the hobby, but maybe not outside the hobby. So there you go. You got lightweight, which means anybody. You got medium weight, which means any gamer, and you have heavyweight, which means sit down and buckle up, bucko. There you go.
Bucko.
I can't with you right now. Where are we? What are we doing?
I don't know. John, just start.
All right. Well, to continue from that, I don't know that weight in a game, like you're saying, people outside the hobby, you're right. Unless you have like Marvel Remix and on the back you have a picture of the game Uno and say, if you've played this, you can play this, then nobody's going to really know outside the hobby what you're talking about. Then maybe your dead grandma will look at it and say, that's a game I've played. I can play that game. But otherwise, it's for us gamers. And the other thing about it, I think I've thought about this a while. What makes a game heavy? To me, you can have a lot of really big, crunchy decisions in a game that's not really hard to play or explain. But you can also have that in a game that takes an hour to explain. And I'd say probably the heaviest games I played in the last couple of years are Mennefer, Unconscious Mind, and Luthier. That's probably the heaviest games I played. And it's not like I didn't know what was going on. It's not like I didn't understand. It's not like it was confusing or complex. Oh my God, what it was just there's a lot of things to remember. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to really explain what makes it heavy because the decisions didn't really seem any more difficult than in other games that are easier to learn, if you know what I mean. There's just a lot of maybe different avenues you can go and maybe avenues you can completely ignore. I think that's what happens a lot in heavy games is there's just a lot of diversity. Like you can go into a game and completely ignore a third or 2/3 of it and really focus in on this. And whereas in a simpler game, you're not, everybody's kind of doing the same thing. So I think maybe that's where the heaviness is really tends to come off is because if it's a heavy game and it's a quality game, it shouldn't be hard to remember how to play while you're playing it. But there are games that are that way. That's always my big thing on Brass was there's nothing intuitive about Brass, in my opinion. It was a fun game. I learned to play it. When I was playing it, I remembered how to play it. Once I'm done, I could not tell you how to play that game because I remembered how to play it by how we played it. Other games, I could pick up and say, I could tell you a lot about how to play Luthier just because it makes sense. So I don't know if any of that made any sense, but if your grandma's alive, hopefully that helped her.
Well, John, first of all, keep Luthier out your mouth, you part-time heavy gamer. I am still salty from how you stole my number one game of 2025. So sorry about that. But anyways, what I was thinking about this, I started to almost take a very dry approach of, okay, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. But then I'm like, okay, in reality, the complexity of a game for me is going to be on my mood. There are some nights I am ready for that 4-hour game and I am in, I'm involved, I'm immersed, I'm focused, and it's amazing. But if it's a night where like maybe it's been a rough day at work, I'm tired, I don't want to have to learn a bunch of things, have to pay attention, that kind of thing. And let's be honest, rule books are not for me. I'm not going to be the one reading the rule book most of the time. And I feel like some of the games I like the best, unfortunately, have bigger rule books. So I think that's a huge thing. But, thankfully, there is YouTube. And there is so many great content out there by different other channels that have great explanations. And I really love that it's now becoming more of a thing of learn a game in 3 to 5 minutes, 8 minutes, because I swear I'll check if it's over 10 minutes, bye-bye. I'm just not, I just want a quick overview and then I'll figure it out as I go. So I really do think the mood matters. Are you having a party of gamers that don't game as much, or are you having over the guys that you've been playing with for 10, 15 years? That's going to really change the complexity of what you do. And I think nowadays, man, unless you're really in the hobby, the cognitive load's for real. Like, I know so many people are just like, I can't even go there because I'm just so tired. And also having the time. Like, I don't have kids, y'all. Some of the people, I don't know how they get in the things they do when they have like 3, 4 kids. They're in sports. They have a wife that actually wants them around or a husband. But that's just my take.
It's because we abandon our families, Kelly.
This is our secret lifestyle.
There you go.
There you go. You did mention that you go to YouTube to learn games, and then there's also your friend Dan that you can just throw a rule book at, and he will explain any game.
Everybody's got to have a board game Sherpa, and Dan and
I
Dan
have
is
a
amazing.
codependent relationship. I buy the games, he likes reading them, and that is our toxic friendship.
He is amazing.
It's funny.
Yeah, absorbing that and then communicating it. He's really good.
Andy said everybody has to have one, and for the longest time I was that guy, but now I have a producer, Randy, and a oh my god,
what's his name? Ryan. I'm gonna guess you're saying Ryan.
Oh my god,
Ryan Evans. Sorry, Ryan.
I got you, Ryan.
Those are my two Sherpas. Sherpa.
Unfortunately, I'm my own Sherpa.
And we all know Andy's, and that's Tyler.
It is true. Mine is a little defective because he doesn't get the
He's
rules
got
right
the Ty and the Tyler.
But I don't hope he doesn't watch this. He probably won't watch this. He doesn't like watching our stuff, so he won't see that. He won't see that trash in there.
Join the club.
Disown him.
Disown him. No, he's
Dan
great.
doesn't watch it either.
He's great. So, first of all, I think when you're talking about weight, you need to delineate between party games and strategy games.
Okay.
Because you can say they're really two different categories. I mean, as much as I like Flip 7 and I like some of these games, they're different than a strategy game. Let's face it. When we're trying to introduce somebody to the hobby, Flip 7's not going to do it. That's going to make them think, oh, there's a great card game. Then in some ways it'll just feel like, another Skip-Bo or something to them, or Uno or whatever. But if you want to get into actual strategy games and the weight, I think that you've got 2 or 3 things you need to consider. One of these is going to be what you do on your turn. If it's a simple action, 1 or 2 actions on your turn, that's a great start because then they don't have to overthink. It's pretty easy to do. Now, I will say there's a lot of complex games that have made that a part of them. I mean, you think about Terraforming Mars, it's just 1 or 2 actions, and it's pretty simple actions, but it's a very complex game. But I like easy decisions on your turn that aren't going to take forever, seemingly simple. I also like games as far as lower weight. I like it to be some multiple paths to victory, but not too many paths to victory. As you're bringing somebody in, you don't want a complete point salad because that's going to really throw chaos into their mind. But you don't want it to be one way either, because what delineates this hobby from other games like Monopoly or something is that there are different ways to win. Mm-hmm. There's more than one. So I think having at least 2 or 3 different paths to victory. I think the short turns, and I think the other thing you got to just consider is the overall time it takes. And notoriously, these games, what they say on the box are not accurate. It's just, and I don't know why. Because it's just so many different people that play. But you're playing somebody new, and it could say it's a 30 to 60 minute game. It might turn into a 2-hour game. It might very well happen. It does happen. So you've got to look at the length of the time to help determine the weight, and you've got to somehow find out what the actual time is, not what it just says on the box.
That's very true.
I like how some of them now are doing time per player. That was not as common earlier on, but now it seems to be a lot more common, where they'll say 30 minutes per player, 45 minutes per player, whatever. That's when really know what you're getting into. It's like
they need to just go to an industry standard where it's like 30 minutes per player, 45 minutes per Andy.
That's right. We all know that's the truth.
That's liquid gold right there.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. So heavyweight, I think we kind of all agreed that the concept of weight definitely is for the gamers. But as you can see, we kind of all take on definitions of weight differently. Some of us look at, how long it is, how many paths to victory. I love that you said that, Andy. Or whether it's a party game and what setting it is. Because there are definitely like heavier party games, but they're not heavier to like, they're no luthier. But they're also no Skip-Bo either. So, yeah. Anyway,
there's games that are, social deduction are kind of its own category. And, dexterity games are their own category. These are all slightly different things.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know how you would put a weight on those at all.
No. It's easy. That's what the weight is.
Anybody
can play them. So, yeah. My final point of all of this, though, is the weight system, I think, is a phenomenal system. And it's unique to board gamers. And I think when you're into the hobby, I think it's a great thing. If you're new to the hobby, don't worry about it. Don't let people like trick you with all their words and stuff. But once you're in the hobby, it's a really fun thing to kind of look at or to debate about. Like, that's a heavy game. No, that's a medium heavy game and all that good stuff. So it's just part of the fun. It's part of the fun, guys. So what do you think down below? Let us know. Do you guys rate games based on their complexity? Does that take into account for you? How do you explain it to other people? And, all that good stuff. So, with that, guys, we bring a closing to the show with our final scores.
Oh, can I say something? Before you get going.
He's going to
go ahead.
I was going to tell.
He's going to appeal to the judges one last time. Let's see what happens.
2 more things. One, I think we can all agree on this show that we've come to the conclusion that the best gateway game is Crokinole, which we haven't talked about, but it is the best. And then the other thing I was going to say is just like the times on the games really are irrelevant, so are the ages. The ages are irrelevant because sometimes they'll say 14 and up, and it doesn't need to be 14 and up or vice versa.
I think it's a legal thing.
And it's like, it has something to do with legal stuff, right? Is it legalese?
Yes. Yeah. Because kids might choke on things.
Does it have to do with the comic book code or something?
No, because kids might choke on things.
No, despite our chagrin, board games are still they're toys. So because of that, they have to go through age testing. So yeah, the age on board games have zero to do with the actual age of actually playing.
No.
The more Andy knows.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much. All
Sorry,
right, well,
go ahead.
Look.
My bad.
Sorry, are we done?
No, we're done. Go ahead.
No,
Go
keep
ahead.
going.
Sorry, how about I lose?
All right. Andy and Kelly are at 14 points. Daniel is at 15. And John takes home the victory today at 16 points.
What?
Wow.
No way.
Did John take
No
2 minutes
way.
to get on your high horse?
How?
Wow.
What did he even win? Like,
Okay. I win this. 2 minutes. Okay. I'll take a minute for 2 different things real quick. One is I played a game that's not released yet called Chemical Overload, which is a new deck building game where you're trying to build different potions and things. And can I just say something to the people that made that game? Wow, too many actions and too many cards in your hand late in the game. It just bogs down. So let me just say that. Maybe it was the cards we played with. Future, maybe it'll be different. But wow, great game, great way it's designed. But at the end, I just had 80 cards in my hand, and I could do nothing. I could do everything I wanted. It really wasn't that much of a challenge. 2, tell me if you guys think this is a good idea. A guy that I work with named Brian that watches the show said, I can't believe you haven't had Mr. Monopoly on your show yet. We work with a guy that everybody calls Mr. Monopoly because he looks like the guy from Monopoly. I said, that would be a great segment. Let's have him on the show and talk about how he looks like Mr. Monopoly for 15
and then berate his game.
Did you tell him we have the world famous Hansa?
I didn't tell him that. He
everybody
watches
knows
the show. He
Hansa.
knows that. He watches the show, so he knows that. But I thought that'd be. I said I'd run it by everybody, so this is my chance. And run it. We'll put it in the hopper of ideas to have Mr. Monopoly.
We've done
on
worse.
from my work.
Yes,
Been a few game designers on that really killed the show, but we'll
Whoa.
move on.
Wow.
But,
We're going to take that out in production.
Way to wrap up the show and lose us some subscribers,
Hey.
John.
they don't watch the show.
Fantastic. Yeah, probably not.